Hey everyone, so this is Geeky Vices with J-Belle, where I talk about the bits of random geekdom and pop culture that I've been into lately. And the general vibe of the show is unrehearsed, unedited, and very unhip. And to forewarn you, there are spoilers. I try being spoiler light, but if you want to go in completely no bias to whatever I am discussing this week, then you should watch my video afterwards. Anyways, this week I am talking about the 7 deadly sins. So, finally caught up with quote unquote season 3 on Netflix, although for me it's season 2. For those of you who aren't familiar, there was a full season on Netflix, then they released 4 episodes that were quote unquote season 2, and then they released a full-fledged season 3, but I consider those 4 episodes just filler episodes, and I will go into my opinions about that. But yeah, so as I said, I am currently up to date with whatever's on Netflix. I also did watch the movie, I believe it's Prisoners of the Sky, which I will also get into. So those of you who are not familiar with this series, it is set in the fantasy world where years ago the giants and humans and fairies and goddess races all work together to defeat the demon races. And basically most of those races are pretty weak now. There's not really any sign of the goddess race anymore. Demon race has been banished for a while, but the fairy and giant races have definitely declined. So human races have actually been thriving. And some of these humans have ridiculous powers, and they become something called holy knights, where they will then serve the kingdom. And yeah, they get crazy magical powers and ridiculousness and all that fun stuff. Anyways, in the story I can't remember, it's about 10 years ago, that there was a coup where the Grand Master of the Holy Knights, he got assassinated, and it was blamed on this one group of Holy Knights called the 7 deadly sins. So they became enemies of the country of Leones and were scattered about, and are wanted people. We find out, however, that they didn't actually kill the Grand Master. It was actually the Grand Master's younger brother and one of his friends, and they basically had a plot together to kill him. And we'll go into that. But the vibe of the show is it's not the strongest show. It's not going to be the wittiest or most clever written. But you know what? It's one of the shows that sometimes I don't necessarily want heavy duty intelligence shows. I think Death Note, for instance, is an amazing show, and the Japanese movies are good. No, the Netflix ones, but it's watchable. It's okay as long as you don't think it's the main character is being light. If you think it's just being some random other guy, instead of being light as Kira. But anyways, Death Note is a great series, but it's heavy, and so it's not something I watch when I want to just be entertained. It's not fluff. 7 deadly sins is definitely fluff. It's crazy. It's over the top. It's lots of characters going on. There's always some action. There's lots of comedy, all that stuff. But it's definitely not the most balanced of shows. So going in there full front. I don't want to compare it to Fairy Tail, because I think Fairy Tail is actually well written. But probably if you are into Fairy Tail, you probably wouldn't mind 7 deadly sins. It's just the characters are even more ridiculous. I will say that one of the main characters, the leader of the 7 Meliodas, he takes perviness to a whole new level. And I have a pretty high threshold for this, but I kind of just roll my eyes at the level. He is just randomly there are plenty of other shows that have pervy characters. Trust me. But he's just really going for grabbing boobs and butt and sticking his head up the girls' skirts. But particularly one of the other main characters, Elizabeth, who I think is the most flat Mary-Sue character you can imagine. She's just too easygoing, forgiving, and I just want to be helpful. Oh, I'm so helpless, but I want to be helpful, and oh, everyone else is so great. She's just a little too much that she doesn't really have much to it. Like, she doesn't do anything to stop Meliodas from, like, literally, like, groping her every chance he gets. I mean, there's an actual episode where they go into a forest where there's, I can't remember what they're called, but, like, these creatures that will duplicate to look like someone and attack you, and the way that he can figure out which one's the real Elizabeth is she tells all of them, hey, jump up! And the real Elizabeth won't jump up because he knows that he took her panties, and she doesn't want to show that. So yeah, the fact that he will randomly steal her panties from her while she's wearing them. Yeah. That's it. Like, I have a threshold. Like, I kind of rolls off my back. I kind of just have a filter. It's like, roll my eyes, but get over it. But yeah, that's like, that can be pretty off-putting for some people. So if you have a high sensitivity, that this is not the right series for you. But yeah. And also, I mean, there are definitely some skimpy, unnecessary outfits. Although they can, like, I mean, some of the guys have weirdly skimpy outfits. I mean, Bonds is always, like, showing, like, the top of his hip bone, which Bond is a character I love, by the way. So, anyway, some of the other major characters, there's Diane, also, each of the sins are associated with an animal. So, the dragon sin of wrath is Meliodas. The snake sin of envy is Diane, who is a giant, whom I love her, but she was definitely stronger in the first season. I don't like as much of her story arcs in the second season. There's Bond, who I adore. He's great. The Foxen, he is awesome. I'll go into him a little bit more, but I think I honestly tend to just like read characters in general, like Japanese feel Greed, because Greed was one of my favorite characters also in Full Metal Alchemist. Like, I loved Greed, so like, and there's definitely some similarities in their vibes. Let's see, then there's the Bearson Sloth, who is King, who's a fairy, who also goes by the name of who is originally called Harlequin. Let's see. Then we meet Gowther, who we don't really find out exactly who Gowther is until the third season, the quote-unquote third season. And his powers are kind of unclear. Like, Gowther, I will say, I really liked Gowther in the first season. I liked him in between season, like this quote-unquote second season. But he does some dickish things. And third season, I'm just like, I'm trying to overlook it. So I really liked his character. He is very androgynous and totally comfortable with cross-dressing. I mean, then again, he doesn't have a heart. I mean, he's totally... But, like, it's also, like, the person that he gets into a relationship with. Like, it totally made sense to me because of the backstory with her father. And, like, so I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then they kind of negate all of that with the third season. I'm like, what? No! Bad! Bad Gowther. Bad! So I'm really hoping Gowther redeems himself. And then we meet some of the other the remaining ones at the very end. Merlin shows up at the end of first season. Escanor we don't see until third season, but Escanor is badass, and he's a very interesting take on Pride. But yeah, all the characters are like all like these quirky people and who are brought together, and they're all loyal to Meliodas. They're the captain and such. So some overall things is that King has unrequited love for Diane because he found her when she was a child. They spent like a few hundred years together, and then there's memory losses on both their ends at different points, and it's just I kind of get over the memory loss a little bit. I'm kind of rooting for Diane and Hauser personally because I like Hauser, although he's not as strong in the third season. But thing is, he's basically made into a side character, same as Griamore and someone else that's part of their trio. But yeah, anyways, there's way too many memory loss. Like, oh, I remember. Oh, I forget. Oh, I remember. Oh, I forget. With Diane, like, I'm just over it. Although it is kind of cool to finally see some more of the giant race in third season. Like, I do appreciate that, and I kept on hoping that her upgrade thing, learning that dance, was going to come into play, and it never really did. Let's see, what else? Bond, I adore. So basically, while King was away and had amnesia, he's the king of the fairies and the king, and he's supposed to guard the fair. And he left to like save some other fairies and his friends, and that left his sister to guard it. I can't remember that, but basically guard the sacred tree and the fairies the king's forest. And the thing is that in there is a fountain of youth, and Bond comes by and tries stealing it, and he keeps on being knocked away by the king's sister, Elaine. And he eventually, and the forest keeps on protecting him. And eventually he and Elaine fall in love, and then she dies protecting him and making him drink the fountain of youth, and he ends up killing a red demon that had shown up and destroyed the forest. So Bond is pretty much immortal, which is pretty cool. And then the significant there is that basically third season was Bond's season, because like they definitely did a good job of his storyline. Like we found some of his past. Like I was definitely like pretty much everything related to Bond. I'm like yes. Versus some of the stuff with Diane, who I do like. It's like no, and Gowther I was like, it's like no, bad Gowther, bad. Spritz with a water bottle, smack with a newspaper, that type of stuff. But no, Bond's arc was amazing in third season. So if you're a Bond fan and you haven't seen the third season, you should definitely watch it. Let's see. Yeah, King I'm kind of okay. Like King has basically this, can fly around, and he has this one weapon that changes its configuration and does some powerful things, but it's kind of like not as impressive as some of the other things. Like Merlin is ridiculously powerful. Gowther is very insightful and has not all his powers are unclear, but I know it's like some psychic type of stuff and messing with memories, which yeah. And then Escanor is amazing. Like he's so worth it. He's such a great portrayal of pride, and I don't want to spoil it. It's kind of like how when I had a friend who's seen the original Full Metal Alchemist, and then they wanted to watch. They hadn't seen Brotherhood yet. I'm like, I can't tell you who Pride is in Brotherhood. It's such a cool thing, and it's so different, and it's worth it for me not to spoil it for you. So it's kind of like that, where it's like it's worth not having it be revealed and spoiled. But yeah, the third season is about there's these elite demons called the Ten Commandments who have been arisen by the duplicitous grandmasters that had done the assassination. Although we find that they were actually pawns for complicated reasons, and I'm kind of over Dreyfus and Hendrickson in all honesty, but yeah. But there were some parts where like characters were scattered, then reunited, and then scattered. But yeah, towards the end of the season, was when we finally got to have all 7 of the sins together. But yeah, the series, as I said, it's fun. It's kind of like how one of my go-to series for if I just want something to watch to just have fun, I'll rewatch Kenichi, The Mightiest Disciple. It's silly and has interesting characters, and like it's not always the most even written, but like I enjoy it every time, even though I've seen it before. Like it's one of those things where it's like I just have fun and I'm relaxed by it. So that's what the show is. It's like if you just want to have fun, there's not going to be a lot of depth. As I said, like some of the powers are ridiculous, and I said like some of the stuff like I think they just overdo some of the art things. Like I said, I'm over all the amnesia shit. No more amnesia, especially for Diane or King. No, we're done. And as I said, Gowther, I want to be redeemed, and I definitely want to see more of Gowther's actual past. And they still haven't revealed all of Meliodas' stuff, but yeah. Oh yeah, we finally meet some of the Dryads, or Druids or Dryads. I think they're the Druids. Basically, they worship the goddess race. But yeah, we gotta see them. So they gotta have like a little bit of training with them. And one of them clearly has a huge crush on Meliodas and was mean to Elizabeth because of that. Yeah, so there's definitely some cool moments. So yeah, it's fun. I definitely recommend third season. As far as the movie, it's eh. It's mostly what the storyline is. Eh. It's mostly just watch it if you just want to see more of some of your favorite characters. But basically the idea is that everyone's trying to go hunting for these crazy ingredients for the king's birthday. So like that part's cool, like watching everyone like bring, and then Meliodas is like, I'm gonna bring the flying fish, and it's supposed to be in this region. And he and Hawk go into this lake, and basically it flips them to this other part of the world where there's someone who looks just like him comes through, or who's a celestial. It basically means that they descend from the goddess race, and no one believes that either one is them, even though, like, I understand with the Seven Deadly Sins, it's taking them a few in movie time minutes. Like, it takes them a little bit to get it, but it's like, okay, yeah, you're not Meliodas. We get it. But no one believes Meliodas when he gets to be like, yeah, I'm not your guy. Although then again, Meliodas isn't really that good about arguing, being like, yeah, I'm the wrong guy. He kind of just like rolls the thing a little bit too much. He's a little bit too even keeled. Although I will say, we did also get to see some flashbacks to certain people's relationships. So like we gotta get a vibe for what Meliodas was like with his previous relationship, Liz, and we also get to see a little bit more of Elizabeth's missing past, and also we get to understand Bond and Elaine's relations better, which I totally heart. I love Bond and Elaine, and I think Jericho's just there. And I would have rather Gila get more time, because I think Gila was such a cool character, and she was a cool adversary. She was a villain who basically then just became an ally. But yeah, so yeah, those are my general thoughts. But yeah, the movie, yeah, it's kind of just the Celestials are kind of the villains are kind of it's just a lot of Although I will say there is one cool part. You basically get to see like the ultimate attack of all 7 of the Deadly Sins. And you definitely gotta watch it after you finish watching 3rd season, because Escanor's there, so it's like, and it mentions the 10 commands, so like, you don't want to spoil things too much with yourself, so watch it afterwards. But yeah, you guys see basically their ultimate attack. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And yeah, definitely, Escanor is awesome. I am rooting. I don't think his affections for Merlin will ever be reciprocated, just because I don't think Merlin's capable, but I do think Merlin is affectionate and cares for him as much as she is capable of. And we still don't know what Merlin actually is. She says she's the daughter of someone, but we don't know who that is. So yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on 7 Deadly Sins. And yeah, hope you guys continue enjoying your own vices. Hope perhaps you'll watch it. As I said, I think the biggest hurdle is how much you can tolerate the Meliodas perviness. Oh yeah, also another character I'm over Helbrin. He was just too many of like, oh, nope, I'm this person. Oh, nope, I'm this person. Oh, so thankfully, he's still around in 3rd season, but I'm okay with the level, finally. But yeah, that's one of those people. There's certain characters just like, I'm just like, I'm over you. Just, no, you're done. You're done. He's one of them. So yeah. Anyways, enjoy your own vices. Until next time, bye. Here's the mouse. Bye.